All right, welcome everyone. Okay, today we are going to continue with our gameplay of Foundation. I also have kind of a more set schedule, so you can see that on my profile. It's Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so feel free to check it out and join us whenever we get started. So, all right, we're going to pull up our game of Foundation here. Give me just a moment. Of course, my Steam's deciding that it wants to back up the game data now, so give me just a moment here. Kind of goofy. All right, come on. Well, that's how it always goes. Computers and all of the stuff digitally saved, you end up having all sorts of fun delays and things. Is there a way for me to, like, immediately make it do it? Let's find out. Come on. Unable to sync. Okay. It says if I try to play it now, then it might lose any progress that I have saved. But then it tells me that the cloud status is up to date, so don't know where the disconnect is. Theoretically, if I were to pull up a different game, would it be mad about that? Yeah, okay. Of course, it's with any games right now that it's saying that it's not backed up, so let's see if we can just do my general settings. Hold on. We're doing a restart, and I guess updating Steam, maybe that'll fix the problem for us. That would sure be convenient. And then get it pulled up here. It's going to make me log in again. Of course it is. All right. Hold on here. I'm going to look into that. But rather than you just watch me do nothing and be maybe bored by it, I'll just kick you back into this preliminary thing where you can chat amongst yourselves if you'd like, or just kind of hang out. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, I think we got it going. So, let's pull this up here. And there it is. Cool. So, here's the game loading up. I guess this one just takes a particular amount of loading time from this point forward, but we're just about there. Perfect. How many hours in this save? That's a good question. Let's find out. Of course it's not going to tell me. It's just going to tell me in-game time. But I want to say about 4 hours at this point is what we're looking at for this one. Somewhere between 4 and 6 hours. So we will do this one because that's the most recent. Yeah. Alright, so where we left off last time, we had a bridge that we had just built after buying this territory across the river. And we had just barely set up a church to be built here. And assigned a priest to work there, but it's not yet built, so he's not going to be working for a bit. Got all these things showing that their storage is full for the moment, where they just don't have anywhere to put their resources. So, as we continue to work along here, those resources will be used to build buildings, they'll go to storage, and eventually be traded to neighboring towns or be used by my villagers in our little marketplace here. Currently we are selling fish, meat, and clothing to the people in my little village. And yeah, we're seeing how that goes. Got some residential space available over here, but people have to actually walk over there to build homes. And that will hopefully take care of this notification I had where I've got too many people for the amount of housing that we've got. Because we keep getting immigrants coming in, which is fantastic, but I need a place to put them. So that's, I think, what we're currently struggling with. But what do you mean a villager path is blocked? Where are you at? Okay, so maybe it's not blocked. They just need to cut down the trees in order to make that work. Is what I seem to see there. So, as long as they can make it across the bridge, I'm happy, and it looks like people are able to. So, let's keep on moving here. Okay, so over here we've got a bunch of tutorials, because I'm still relatively new to the game, that are just kind of small goals that I can work towards to overall progress the prosperity of my town here. And currently we've got a bailiff. Last thing we need to do for this one is to influence the labor estate in my favor, and I think I needed money to do so. Let's go to our royal book, I believe. No, the mandates page. So that one specifically is for completing the mandate, influence the labor estate in your favor. This one. So it costs 50 coins, it lasts 30 turns, and I would gain 10 influence with the labor estate. So, in spending money, which is something that I've ended up getting less and less of, because every building and every sort of research and essentially every action you do costs money, which you then have to offset by trading and by taxing your people. I would then get, like it says, 10 influence over the labor estate. So that would be an extra 10 here for my labor influence. And that's generally used to kind of expand my technologies and allow me to build different buildings. So we're going to go ahead and influence in order to gain that. And I think after the whole 30 days that pass is when we will then gain that benefit. How are we looking over here? Because even when I'm in menus and stuff, the people will generally just continue working and moving around unless I pause the game to down here. Okay. Now, I have a total of 67 people in my population. All of them have come in as just serfs, which is the most basic group of people you can have. As you upgrade them, their needs become larger because they feel, I guess, entitled to more. They kind of climb the ladder, as it were. So, where I only have 3 commoners, this goal requires me to get to 15. But they also require, like I said, better houses, better materials, better foods. So, I can't necessarily afford to upgrade them all from serfs to commoners at once. Gotta kind of work on it bit by bit. 6, 7. Indeed, there are 67. Thanks for that. Okay, how are we doing over here? I kind of wish that this game had a way to see through trees, rather than me to just kind of guess where stuff is until the trees are cut down. But I suppose we could probably just also build another woodcutter over here. Let's see, lumber camp. And I think we'll put it over here so it's away from the residential area that I've got. And I think we'll just stick with the basic thing. You can add additional kind of edits onto your building, which allows you to like add on worker capacity or store more resources. But you can also add those on later. So I think we're just going to go with the basic to kind of get stuff going and get some trees cut down. And then we'll kind of go from there. And I think if we clear the trees around the church, we can then see what we can do about using more of this space for other things. We'll start with that, and then I think maybe we'll get a forester later on to help replant those trees so that we can continue to kind of use that lumber camp for resources. But it's not like I'm hurting for any sort of wood, so that's not my priority. It's mainly just to get that space open for other things. Which you can just like set buildings on top of trees, and those trees will be cut down as part of the process of building, but then you do like lose out on the benefit of having them as resources. So that's why I'm kind of taking the long way there. Now, I've got 10 people who are unemployed, and the issue is most of my buildings are already fully stocked as far as workers go. So I need to continue to make more buildings if I can figure out where I put this woodcutter. There it is, lost amongst the trees. Because again, it's not even a building at this point. It's just the building site that will be added onto. Yep, warehousing is insufficient. I thought we were working on it by having all of this as residential space, but I guess we will see how that works. Come on. Is there a way for me to look at... Nope. I want to go to the book and see if I can... Oh, village map, maybe. That's the church. I think. Yeah. Come on. Oh, it's down here. Perfect. I already lost it. Okay. I'm going to add 3 woodcutters, so as soon as this is complete... I no longer have 10 unemployed, just the 7. And currently I'm not getting anybody coming in as immigrants because of the low employment rate, which isn't to say that it's like particularly low. It's just that 7 out of these 68 don't have jobs yet. So we're working on it. We're getting there. As far as other buildings that we could work on to employ more people, I guess I wanted to keep an eye on how this stonemason over here is doing. Nope, that's not it. Stonemason, you got the stone cutter. then I put a stonemason nearby. I just don't remember where it was, because I got a warehouse, I got a fisher's thing, another warehouse, gathering hut. I could have sworn I put it right nearby this so it would actually be easy to transport. There it is, stonemason hut. So basically they take just plain old cut stone from this stone resource area, and they will then have a stonemason here to make it a polished stone, which then can be sold for more money, can be used for other types of projects. So we could do another one, because it doesn't seem like this person works particularly quickly. I guess polished stone takes a minute, but that's also not a very efficient use of getting a bunch of workers, since there's only space for the one at the moment in that particular building. Do I have anything else within this process that... Nope, looks like every process that I have, I've got all of the buildings to kind of complete a product or a line of products kind of from beginning to end. So I'm going to go into this progression list, and I think, I mean, we can employ a lot of people if we can do some tools, because that we'll need to find coal, we'll need to produce iron ore, and then we'll need to smelt the iron and have a blacksmith. So I think that's a decent amount of work for the 50 coins that it costs to just unlock the technology. So we'll go with that. Now it looks like the coal is made out of trees, so maybe if this hasn't even been started... Yeah, there's not even any resources that have been taken here. It hasn't been built yet. I might destroy the building in order to have this section actually be the charcoal hut to cut down trees and produce coal. Now you'll notice there's this kind of orangish area around this building, and you can also see that over here in this section. Basically, if you have some sort of building that produces noise and waste and stuff like that, it's considered undesirable to have houses near it. So if it's within those rings, then people don't like living nearby, which is why we have residential housing areas set in other places. So we're going to go there. We're going to see... You know what? That looks like good enough placement to me. We're going to build it. Now, instead of... I guess I'm curious to know if I need to set a separate sort of paint area for the cutting of wood specifically for charcoal purposes, or if it kind of doubles as both charcoal and regular wood cutting. But it doesn't give me an option so far on the building to do a separate thing, so I'm going to assume it's the same kind of area that you paint out for that. Okay, people have started building houses over here. That's good news. So everything's somewhat going according to plan. Bread is also something that I'll have to research to get more of. Those are more immigrants coming in. This is some mission, I think, that somebody's asking about. They're happy to learn about my plans to enhance fortifications and carry out patrols. They believe this will increase the village's density and foster prosperity for the entire community. Okay. You know what? Let's do it. I think it's useful, and it looks like if you can increase your houses to medium density, you'll be able to pack more people into a smaller area. So I think that's a good end goal for this one. So, in order to do that one, we need to either build a new manor house or add on to our existing one. It's got to have a watch post on it. So, We can edit the building. Let's see if we even have a watch post as an option. Is that a sub-building, maybe? Nope, doesn't look like it. Let's look at the tutorial here and see watch post. They let you assign villagers to the job of patroller and watchman. Yeah, that's part of this goal that's going to happen. But where do I make them? Providing fortification. By enclosing an area with walls, or by building watchtowers. Is that something that I have to research here? Watchtower is not in there. I think this is just to have a fancier looking building. Fortification, watch post, there it is. So we'll pay 5 of my labor influence to unlock it. Great, so I could surround my village with walls in order to be considered fortification. I think in this particular scenario it doesn't seem like that is going to be maybe necessary, so we'll just stick with watchtowers first. Because like we can see here, rather than encircling the whole community, they have like an area, like a cone of vision that they can use to like look over a specific area. So now that we've got that, as you can see, this is why I'm always running low on funds, because there's always more buildings that I could be working on, and they all cost money. Okay, watchtower. Oh, interesting. Anything within this range of the Great Hall thing here also seems to be, it counts as being watched. So a watchtower can kind of help expand that option. Yes, I sure can. Give me just a minute here. Alright, I'm gonna scoot that down a little bit. Okay, let me know if that's good. I guess I misunderstood the first time when you said camera down slightly. I thought it was about the actual physical positioning of my camera here. But yeah, let me know if that's good enough or if you'd like it changed more. Oh, that's right. Is it this panel? Yeah, that looks like that is everything on that menu that you'll need to see. Alright. So, church is done. Still waiting on a builder for this one. Okay. So, back to Watchtower. And that bell is the church bell. People will regularly come have services. That's part of their happiness as well. Looks like that's also part of the church. It's got a certain amount of homes that it can see from its tower there. So, I think let's start with a watchtower here. Well, if I want it to see all of my homes here, I think we see if we can like stick it here maybe and spin it around. And Okay, so that is, I think, what we want as far as that section, and then I'll probably have to build at least another one or two. But if we go ahead and start with that, that should work here. Oh, maybe that's just a village watchtower. No, hold on a minute. Come on. These trees will be the death of me. There it is. Okay, village watchtower. Okay, I guess that is a secondary thing. Since I've done the research, maybe I can then, in my manor house, also add a watch post. Build a manor house that has a watch post. I might just need to build another manor. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, so you can add sub-buildings onto your manor house. One is the Great Hall, which just kind of includes your basic governmental things, but then you can add a tax office, a bailiff office, and now we're going to add a watch post. Now the requirements for this is to have something categorized as a room and a way to get to it. So if we add on to the existing building, that's totally fine. We just need to make sure that it is accessible for the people who work there. And I think we need to reestablish where the visitor and the guard location is. Guard location won't be until we actually get a building categorized for them. So I think maybe we just do a little minor add-on tower. Spin that around. Looks a little goofy because it kind of mirrors the other thing, but that's all right. It counts as a room and it's available to be accessed there. I think I will put the guard location here at this door though. Okay, and we're going to build that. It's going to cost these resources, which we have enough of. So we're going to go ahead and hit build. And that will work for that construction. Now, is this just so far out in the middle of nowhere that nobody's even approaching it? I wonder if that's the case, but I don't quite know how to solve that issue. Because people have started building homes out here, which is fine. But maybe I just don't have enough builders. I've got enough projects going on, and I think only the single builder's workshop. So I think let's get another workshop going. And since we're going to be expanding in this area, it might be good to have the builders nearby. So, with the church being over there, I think we'll just put the builder's hut here. And then making sure, yeah, that should be good. And we'll go ahead and assign 3 builders. And hopefully we'll deal with this employment issue that I'm running into. No access to service. Meaning that they can't make it to the church? We're working on it. All right. From there, I guess maybe we need to wait till those are done before I just keep throwing in new buildings, because I won't have an accurate reflection of both resources, money, and also just in general how kind of workload is being split amongst all of the different projects that are being worked on. But to give you kind of a little tour, we've got the church over here, a whole meadow of sheep over here that are being used for their wool. That wool then gets sent down here to a weaver hut that they turn into cloth. And then that goes over to the tailor's workshop, which can be used as common clothes, which is then sold at my market here. Not necessarily for money that goes to me. I think anything that's sold there is literally just for the happiness of the people, to have their basic needs met. If you click on any individual person, you'll see that they've got essential needs, which are kind of basics of water from a well, rustic food, which is just kind of basic, easy stuff you can get your hands on, and then just any type of housing. But then they can have additional needs, which shows that maybe they have food that takes a little bit more effort. And sometimes it's service, like going to a church. Sometimes it is entertainment, where we'll eventually need to get a tavern so that those people can have their additional needs met. And then they also have happiness affected by the amount of taxes and stuff that they have to pay each month. So while that looks particularly bad here as being this gigantic red line, we can see that based on our taxation page, this is roughly within the area where they're still happy with it, not particularly angry in the end, but based on how you put that on the sliding scale for the groups will determine the amount of unhappiness that comes from it. But with an average happiness of 77%, that seems to be pretty good based on what the game has told me so far. So I'm not too stressed about getting it any higher than that at the moment. We can also speed up in-game time. I just am particularly good at starting that and then forgetting, and then all of a sudden a bunch of problems show up at once that I then have to slow the game back down for. So I'll do my best to stay on top of it this time. I won't speed it up to 3 times speed, and we'll see how it goes. Now, as far as this lumber camp goes, they're able to cut down a bunch of trees because I'm able to fit 7 people on it. But there's only a certain amount of area where I have them available to do that. I could expand that out even more if we're being honest, because doesn't necessarily seem to be a negative to cutting down trees. Because I have also a forester at this hut here who also has areas where he can just plant new trees. So if I just kind of keep it within the same range as where they're cutting, then hopefully that's able to keep up with the demand of the woodcutters. All right. And then I have things like this where at the sawmill the wood gets turned into planks, but I have no space for more planks, so they're not able to work until some of those get taken out for building projects or other things. And we got more people showing up. So we're going to welcome them into the fold and see how things are going over here. Of course, okay, great. So we do have a worker specifically assigned to this project. He's on his way. Did the building hut get finished yet? Builder's workshop. Yes, it is done. There are people here, somewhere here in the forest, that are able to build for me. Basically, from here, they go find the resources that are needed for any nearby projects, and then they'll take it to those building sites and build the buildings. Now, as part of the way this game works, the workers all have basically a set amount of time that they will work, and then they'll have some sort of leisure time or a break. So a job may not be done when one of those workers just kind of gets up and goes somewhere and gets some water or eats some fish or something, or just kind of relaxes in their house. And it's because, we like treating our employees well. And hopefully that makes sure that they stay happy. Okay, so I can assign 3 charcoal burners to cut down trees. And yeah, it doesn't look like there's a separate thing for assigning out areas for charcoal tree cutting. So I think as soon as those 3 workers I assigned actually get there, they'll just start kind of cutting around in the area that I painted out before. Now, as far as the watchtower over here, is it done? Yes. Okay. Looks like I don't assign anybody to this. Oh. Well, I guess that makes sense. Too far away from any watch post or guard duty company. So either this is not done. Nope, it is. Okay. But if I get 2 patrollers, 2 watchmen, is this still too far away? Because it might be based on... No, okay. From any watch post or guard duty company. So I'll need to make another watch post maybe on this side of town for them to be able to communicate with. Okay. So, gonna get a new manor house, but specifically just a watch post. And I think we'll do just kind of a tiny room that will meet the requirements there without being another gigantic Great Hall building that we're looking at. And if we can maybe center it a little bit more. I think this is just a house right next to it. That should be fine. And we just throw a little building, or a little door on here, because that's one of the requirements. We'll build that. I've got the resources for it, so that should work out great. And we can assign a patroller and watchman already. Let's see if that... Cool. This no longer has that negative thing saying that it can't work. So, good news, that's been solved. One of the things that I ran into earlier as a little tutorial is somebody showed up and said, hey, we're a neighboring nation, and we see that you're struggling with the amount of tools that you have, which is a material that you often need for building stuff, and they are not reusable, so just like any other resource, you spend them to make buildings. And they said, since you're struggling with those, we'll give you some up front. You can just eventually work back the money to pay us for it. So that's one of these tutorials over here that I will eventually need to do. Once I have those 200 coins, I can hit confirm and pay them, and I get 5 labor influence to just kind of show that I work hard and I pay off my debts. So that's something we'll get to eventually. Alright, new people showing up. Okay, now how are we doing over here? Okay, already got some good coal, and yeah, they're chopping right over here. So, within that space, I think I'm going to want... I'm curious to know how far the forester will go. If I need to build another one, well, it's hard to say whether this is enough work for him to... No, that's a stonemason. For Madiana to be able to forest effectively, yeah, I don't think that they're going to be able to do more than that. So, let's build a new one over here. Forester camp. And I think we'll put it over here. And then take a look. Okay, so there's a pathway already established there, so I don't want to necessarily get right in the middle of it. And... okay, there's our little door. Let's have it face there. We'll build it. Something about the ambiance as well, the sound in this game. This one's not quite as charming as some of the rest. But it's interesting that they've got those sounds for kind of all these different buildings that do different work. See, near this stonemasons area, you've got that going. You also have this sawmill of people chopping the logs. It's just a nice, fun little charming game. And I haven't explained it this stream, but as your people go about their daily lives, they'll just kind of create paths just in the kind of path of least resistance. And so that's where this grass gets worn into dirt. And you'll notice there are some paths where people take less often, depending on what they're doing, and some that they'll take more often, which is the areas that generally have wider paths. So, while we're waiting for that, we can paint a patrolling zone. Where do we go about doing that? Patrollers. Is that part of my painting? Oh, sure is. It's a new thing that I got at that point. Allows watchmen and other combatants to patrol the area. So by default, you've got the area there, the area kind of around these basic buildings. And that's one of my patrollers, it seems like. So that's neat. So you've got the stuff that's already being patrolled that we don't need to worry about. But I'll need to expand kind of into the rest of the territory near the other buildings, just to keep an eye on them. Okay. Over here we've got some boar hunting. Looks like patrollers may be only needed for residential housing, but, you know, I don't think it can hurt to expand. Are there more homes over here? There could be. I've painted it as residential, so we will make sure that that's taken care of. Okay, and then also over here. Now I think that patrolling should be done by people of this building, also this building, and maybe also this tower, although I don't think there are any employees there, so I don't think that they actually leave from that one. Alright, so now that that's done, we just need to increase a house to medium density. What does that require? To upgrade that, we're going to need light fortification, so place buildings nearby that provide light or heavy fortification. Does this tower do that for these ones? Sure do. Okay. Needs to be protected by patrols. I think we've got that. We just painted that one in, so it'll just take a minute before that happens. Or this line here is like a little timer showing that that's when that one needs to be patrolled again, perhaps. I don't know. We'll find out. And that will be enough for medium density housing for us, which will complete this goal. And then I'll see what that means as far as how the density affects everything else. Okay, we got a forester. Gonna get a new one, and we're going to paint some reforestation area. Looks like we've already got that in... Oh no, that's the woodcutting area. Okay, so he's gonna reforest in that same spot. Estevania. A merchant is approaching. I've currently got trade routes set up with 2 different nations, and they show up through this path over here. And I've got resources that I'm trading. Basically, any fish that I have in excess of 50 will be sold. Ooh, looks like we're running low on fish. Why is that? I guess I'm getting enough people that my fish are being eaten pretty quickly. So, I think that means, based on the amount of berries we have, let's swap from fish to berries for now. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then my berries will be brought here as that rustic food source, so it still will maintain that for my people's needs. That way I can make sure that they're being provided for. And then we can also sell excess fish at that point. As far as other trading goes on, I also have the option for... I sell wood planks in excess of 50, where currently I've got 188. So as neighboring nations send their traders to me, they will buy as much as they need, but limit it to still leave me at 50 if they ever were to buy that much. But they don't seem to have enough resources to fully buy me out to my hard limit, which is fine. And then I also buy tools up until I have 10. And there it is. We completed the one that had to do with bailiffs and their 30-day mandate that we started our evening with here. Now you could welcome some commoners to the village, but again, those are this kind of higher status. They're not serfs, so they require more stuff that I'm still working on. I don't think it's worth it to add 5 in here that will be somewhat unhappy based on the needs that I can't quite meet yet. I can also promote them manually from serfs to commoners, but again, I'm running into the same issue where I'll need to wait until I can meet certain needs to make that happen. Now you could prospect mineral deposits. Okay. Oh, and there's multiple of them nearby, and that will help with creating tools by having a blacksmith, because they'll need to find iron deposits. So this one's way over here, which seems to be the nearest one, which is... oh boy. Okay, so in order to get to that, it's across the river. I will need to buy 2 neighboring territories, this one and then that one, in order to access that. And each one costs 100 coins, plus adds on to my monthly upkeep costs. So I could do one immediately, which may be useful, but you know what? As far as income goes, what are we looking at? We're making 216 from taxes. But then we're, I think that's doable. But of course, true to form, I'm just always running low on money. Okay, and I guess as you expand your land further is also a prerequisite for some of these progressions amongst, this is tier 3 having been reached. So now I can start doing these things like luxury markets and common wares and beer production, things that will again help with people's increased needs and more things that they're hoping to maybe gain as they become higher status. We won't worry about it now because these ones all cost 100 to unlock, and I definitely can't afford that. And yeah, so we'll stick with what we got for now as we expand into this territory. I'm going to paint some more residential area over here. And you'll notice that these lines are those territories that I don't have access to. And you can't build residential housing on just this, like, rock face. So, that is how that's working out. Yes, I see that housing's insufficient. We're working on it. Thank you. Then we'll add that to the patrolling space so that they are also covered. Okay, medium housing density. Let's look at those homes over here. Okay, we got patrol coverage, but this one's not covered by the light fortification of the tower. So we gotta find some that are. This one's covered by that and patrol coverage, but not particularly well, it seems. Homes need to be protected. Make sure to paint it and have enough patrollers to secure all of them. So I think maybe we just need to get another watch post or another patroller. I don't know why they didn't. I could have sworn I filled the responsibilities, but maybe I didn't have enough workers at the time. So that'll help with that. Okay, and a new thing here. Wool for the king. The king has commissioned woolen flags to be proudly displayed on his fortresses. A merchant aware of this project notices to your flock of sheep and wants to make you an offer. I could accumulate 100 wool inside my storage. And then once that's done, I'll get money, and I don't know that I've seen that other... Oh, it's this here. Kingdom influence. Up until now, I've only been approached by different, like, labor bodies and neighboring countries that want help working on stuff. So I get some influence that way. A little bit of clergy influence because of my churches. I guess what seems to be the clergy of the kingdom has taken note and given me a little bit of influence that way. But in order to get some from the kingdom, we need to do things that, I guess, get the king's attention. Now, you can just straight up accept their deals, or you can try to haggle. In this case, I would not get the kingdom influence. And there's a 10% chance that the offer will get better and I'll get more money, but a 90% chance that it's worse. I don't really think that that's worth it at this point. So we're just going to go ahead and accept the deal as is. And we'll need to store some wool. So I've got some storage facilities here. I think I'm going to have to build another one. Because I don't think... Yeah, there's nothing to edit to add on more space in those. So, we'll work on it. Oh boy, some villagers are unhappy. They have their reasons, but they will leave if life in my village does not improve. Happiness of all villagers to 25. It seems like 2 of the 74 are not even at 25% happiness. So let's have that as a reminder for me. But people who are lower than that, oh boy. The bailiff, what's your deal? Why are you unhappy? Can't find a house with desirability for your status. You don't have refined food. Looks like our meat production is not as fast as I think we want it to be. And then you're also unhappy about taxes and, yeah, housing shortage and refined food shortage. So the issue is just we're not building enough houses fast enough. You don't have a house that you're happy with. And we need some more of that meat. So why is that such an issue over here? The butchers, they're producing stuff. And the hunters are hunting in the area that we have. I think that's the issue. We're running out of boars in this area because I only have access to this area of land. That's unfortunate. So we'll have to expand over in this direction as well in order to meet that need. And I don't currently have any other refined food because refined food counts, well, let's see. What do people like as refined food? Meat, bread, cheese. Cheese I don't even have the ability to research yet because that's kind of a higher tier thing. And then bread I can unlock, but it costs 50 coins to unlock it, and then I've got to do all of the process of building stuff and making room to plant wheat, refine it into flour, and make that into bread. So I think we're a long ways out, so hopefully meat will get taken care of. Hey, okay, we just completed the goal, I think, of the medium density housing. which means we now we count as a town instead of just a village. Let's see how that affects our happiness. You are still having a rough time. Okay, well. Where was it? Medium density. Perfect. Okay, we can fit a lot more people in this one. And I think specifically, can we get, what's her name? The one who's really unhappy. You. Can I assign you to this house? That would sure be nice. I don't know. Where do you live? It says you don't have a house. But you could be here. Because this is counting as medium density. Oh, it's not density. It's, you probably want medium quality housing. So I need more beautification. But I mean, there's still enough houses to go around, so I don't know why you couldn't live here. Well, I suppose we'll just build more little towers to increase the density of housing. I think we'll start here and flip it around. And build that there. And then we'll go with another one. Here, I suppose. Yep, we're working on housing, I promise. Okay, so we got 2 patrollers, 2 watchmen here, and then 2 and 2 here. Okay, and I guess it shows that anything that's in green means it's been patrolled recently. Anything in red, if it hits 0, I think it does not count as being patrolled. Meaning if you're not consistently in that, you can't qualify for medium density housing. So let's also get going with another one of these for these homes. And can we turn this a little bit? Yeah, okay. So that gets all of those houses. And there's another house out there, but I don't know that we can fit all 3. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, that's fine. Build that one there. Now, we can also work on those homes out here. There is some patrol going on. But it looks like there's only like 2 houses. I don't know if that's worth adding a tower on yet. Especially because I guess it should be partially covered by the church, maybe? Maybe not. Maybe that was just an assumption I made over there. We'll see. Okay. So, we need to build another storage facility for my wool. Warehouse. And I think with this one being primarily to store wool for this goal, I think we'll put it here near these guys if we can fit it. It's just a question of if. I don't necessarily want to put it right here in the middle where we're doing a lot of wood cutting, but that might be where we end up having to go. And if you put it near enough to a house, that house gets destroyed because it needs a certain amount of space to exist. I think this is going to be as good a place as any. We'll turn it. And, oh, didn't realize there was a house there. Or maybe it's going to be built. Seems like it. Okay, well that's fine. You can have homes there. We'll go somewhere else. Sure. We'll have that. We'll build it there. We'll get some more people on it. As soon as it's done, I can decide that I want wool to go there. So any excess wool we have will go straight to storage. Surprised that houses weren't here before, or maybe these are just being upgraded right now into medium density, which is why we now have space for more people. I think so. Now that we've got a tower observing them, they have that ability to be upgraded. Neat. You are still so unhappy. Okay, but we've got the refined food going. I don't know that I'd necessarily say we have a shortage anymore. So, can you please be happier? That would be nice. Because I need you to not leave. Okay, you already have got some refined food for yourself, so now instead of -4, you're at 10%. That's okay. You're the last person that I need to get to 25, so I think we're going to do it. It's just a question of housing. I'm confused why you don't have a house, though. You are a commoner, which means you need medium housing in order to be happy. Medium quality. And I don't think that I've researched what it takes to take care of that. That was this one, adding decorations. Yeah. Hey, welcome in. The Alexander Lake. Good to see and hear from you. Well, hear from you more than anything. But yeah, Foundation. I haven't played it before, just recently. I picked it up and I'm enjoying it. Man, it's quite a bit of a headache to get all the logistics going. One of those that I often will run into bottlenecks of my own making, unfortunately. But yeah, here we are. Got our little burg. And of course it's one of those things like, I feel like with a lot of villages and towns in real life where you start kind of with the essential buildings and work out from there, and then it ends up looking kind of like a sprawling mess. That maybe could be ordered better, but it's too much work and resources to go back and fix it, so... It is what it is. Oh boy, with our high employment, lots of people keep showing up. But that means that we're running out of food and housing. It seems like my refined food, the reason that it keeps showing up in shortages, so sorry I bumped the mic, is because it comes in waves, and that's unfortunate. So I need maybe another type of food to help balance it out, but it's just a question of making that actually happen. Let's see, as far as hunting were to go, I could establish some over here because I've got all this territory. I think that might be what we have to do. So, that being the case, I think that's all going to be hunting grounds. And we'll build another hunter's hut nearby. And because it's in the trees, it's impossible to tell super easily how it's oriented and what it looks like, but I think that looks fine to me. No, for real. That sounds like literally me. You can't be pretty and functional. Wool, oh no. I forgot that there was a timer on that. Well, oops, sorry King. You didn't get the wool that I promised. But to be fair, I didn't get paid up front, so it's not like that guy needs to be that upset about it. Alright. At this new warehouse, we will put some excess wool for future things in case that ever gets asked again or something nearby does. A housing requirement is no longer met. What do you mean? Yeah, it is. We got medium density because we've got the patrol coverage. I think it was just mad because maybe the patrolling ran out. It's a poor king who can't pay at least half up front. Absolutely. You can't just, like, ask me to do work and not give me any sort of money to make it happen. Because you could just as easily get the product and then not pay me at that point. I don't know. I feel like we need to unionize. Get some minimum wage going. Rather than just the promise of perhaps payment if we complete the job. Because people gotta live, you know? Alrighty. Well, we've got coal. They can't do any more coal until we actually start using it. The issue is we need iron in order to actually use it. And that iron is over in this direction, I believe. Which is still land that I can't yet access because this is where we're at. We need to be able to do that to get it. Oh, and instead of an upkeep of 5 coins, at that point, the upkeep of that one is 10 per month. So we might need to make some adjustments with our income. I think we're going to go to trade. Let's check out. No, not taxation. Trade routes. Okay. I've got polished stone. Not a ton because it takes a while, but so far I haven't really been using it on a lot of stuff. So if we take our polished stone, we're going to sell everything above the value of, let's say 10 for now. When traders come in, they'll buy my excess polished stone and we'll get a little bit of income that way. More immigrants come in, that's great. Now, with this hut, I need to assign a hunter. If I can figure out where I put it. There we are. Okay, our builder's coming. Okay, I guess we can't assign a hunter until it's done. But he's on his way. Unless he's the one that we got a little message about saying that people couldn't find their way. But so far, oh, okay, here it is. Can't find house with desirability for their status. So for the 3 commoners that I already have, they're unhappy with their housing because I don't have a medium desirability for them. But that will be accomplished through decorations. And I guess I could pay for that right now, so I think that's our next goal here. Alright. Beautification and a commoner resident. So, for those commoners, do they have houses that they're unhappy with, or are they just living on the street because they feel like there's no housing for them that they would enjoy? Because if that's the case, that's ridiculous. But I suppose I feel like there should be a way for you to see people's home situation. Wait, you can't find a house with desirability. Yeah, okay, another commoner who's got that problem. Oh, that's one of the 3. They aren't all bunched together because those guys are happy for different reasons. Okay, can I view your home? Is that a thing? Or do you just not have one? I guess we'll just improve a house and hope that you go there. Sure, we might as well have it be this one. We're going to build. Oh boy, all sorts. Okay, I'm gonna specifically filter decorations. Now, make sure to provide decoration. Doesn't necessarily say how much, so let's go with a fun little rope fence. Sure. Just for you. Well, I guess it could be for both of these houses. They're both in range, so let's have them have a little fence from each other. Why not? And then once that's done, we'll see if that meets this particular beautification requirement or if it needs more. But as far as this particular goal that I have as a tutorial, there are also other things that we can do to complete it. Because then I learn how to decorate my village by doing so. So let's go with a rose bush. Oh, the range of that one, I don't know that it actually highlighted those like this one did. Yeah, okay. So now at this point, those 3 houses will be within range. So we'll put our rose bush right here. And then let's go ahead and go with a terracotta bench. And, okay, perfect. Sure, let's go here to expand to those 2 houses as far as their... Although, why is there a red arrow on this? Does that mean it doesn't want to be there? Oh, that's just where people sit. I got it. But I feel like when it's red in other circumstances, that's not been a positive thing. I guess I'm not going to stress about it. That's great. Okay. A young oak planter and a road sign. I guess the more we can kind of expand, the more we'll make sure that all housing is more desirable and higher quality. Okay, next we're looking at a road sign. I think that was somewhere over here. Nope, it's towards the end. Okay. Okay. Now that will get those 2. Sure. if we can pull it out as far as possible, then we can kind of keep expanding that range with further decorations. Alright, that one's done! Okay, cool. So, at least one of these houses does count as medium quality housing. Which should then mean everybody here is not unhappy about their housing options. You who are the complainer about everything. Well, you no longer have the thing over here saying that there's no housing available for you. I think we just need to wait for that house to be fully completed for you to then actually start being happy about your house, which makes sense. More people? Okay, no access to housing. Meaning what? Are there actual people without houses? Because according to this, nobody's complaining about it except these guys who have higher standards. Except maybe you. What's your deal? No, you've got a house. You just need more refined food, and you're upset about taxes and refined food shortage. How are things going with my hunter over here? Oh, it's because I don't have any because it got built while I was working on other things. Okay, and then I think let's also go with another butcher hut over here to keep up with the butchery, to keep up with the demand of meat. And yeah, I figure here's as good a place as any. And there's our little door to the hut. Let's have it. I guess there's two doors. One pointed towards the main area and one towards the hunter's hut. Oh boy, we're finally running low on planks. That's interesting. It's like we're using them all for houses and stuff. I think maybe we need another stonemason hut to keep up with the changing from stone to polished stone, because that seems to be a really long process. You're not going fast enough. So, hey, we completed peace returning to the village and everyone is merry once again. I don't actually know which goal that one was, but neat. Okay, got 10 houses. We have over 10 houses in medium density, so good for us there. We need to make a tavern, but we need to research one first. We need to have 15 commoners, which we've only got 3 at the moment. Yeah, we've got 14 coins. We need 200 for that one. But we also need coins to build literally any building, so... yeah, I don't even have enough to make a stonemason hut. I don't even have enough tools for that either, so I think we're going to have to hold off for the moment. And then we'll take a look back over here and see... okay, somebody's bringing resources. Are the sawmills just not working fast enough, or are we just not have enough logs? Looks like they're just not going through it as fast as we would like, because all of them got taken at once to build houses and improve them and get all the extra buildings that I've been working on. So, you know. As far as food storage, what are we looking at? Got a decent amount of most things. Again, it's just this bottleneck of refined food where there's not a lot of boars. There are, in fact, no boars left over... well, okay, there's a few, not many. think we can get rid of patrolling in the forest, though, so that they're not wasting their time. Okay. Yeah, and where there aren't houses here yet, let's not stress about getting patrollers out there. Just enough that they're still able to get that house. Okay. Yep, their deal is still that they're just waiting for something for the coal to do. I guess I could store some in this warehouse that currently is only holding wool. And that way they'll still keep working and I'll have kind of a backup resource of coal to be used for ironworking. Okay, let's see here. Yep, it does look like, for the most part, anytime that I have a deficit for a month, it's because of money that I've spent for construction, for territory acquisition, and upkeep. Seems like there's a decent amount that these buildings cost to just kind of keep running, but it does look like the majority of it is construction costs. Don't want to raise taxes. I could do it for the commoners, but I think the fact that I've only got 3 of them, the increase in money would not be worth the increase in unhappiness. So we'll hold off on them for now. How are we doing on this? Okay. Where are you at, friend? Somewhere in this area. Alright, new guys. Speed up the game a little bit. Yeah, all of these medium quality housings still need to be finished because of the lack of resources. And of course they're done automatically as soon as they meet the requirements. So with all of these houses being built at once, my resources are somewhat stretched thin. Am I gonna need a 3rd sawmill? That's wild. I don't know. I'm not selling excess planks, am I? I think at this point I can't afford the trade-off. I sure am. Selling down to 50, what am I doing? Okay, we're not going to sell any planks at the moment. We've got our polished stone. Can't sell that. Don't have any of those. Fish. Let's say that we're only going to sell down to 100 fish so that we still have some on hand for my people. And then nobody's going to buy berries currently. We've got lots of clothes. Let's actually... I think that's a requirement for commoners, and where I don't have a ton of them, I'm going to say let's sell down to just 75. Anything above that should be sold. And hopefully that will help bring me some income, because the 2 routes that I have open, clothes are only 2 coins to you? It's kind of ridiculous for the amount of work put in, but you know, I suppose it's something. Oh, I could spend 20 clothes to get this trade route, which also will give me more options, so let's do it. And that's all I can afford at the moment that way. But you will also buy common clothes, so I'll be able to get more people coming in for that. I I don't have access to any of these things. I got fish, but I'm not currently selling a ton of them. I could just straight up buy some resources, but I don't think that's worth it for what I've got and what I need to use. It looks like none of these routes, I guess there's this one that would allow me to sell coal, because I currently am going to have, I think, quite an excess of that until I can get my iron production going. But that requires the kingdom influence that I have none of, and I don't have the option to get any of currently, because part of that was this wool deal that I did bad on, and the king, I guess not the king, somebody who was going to provide flags to the king with my wool got angry at me about it. Okay, 2 hunters. No, 2 butchers. And then the hunters. Okay, cool. They've got boars. So we're making progress, friends. But it definitely feels like 1 step forward and half a step back, and then 2 steps forward and then a step and a half back. We're making it work. Okay. Still just the 3 commoners. You were consistently unhappy because of refined food shortage. But you've got your housing, so don't need to be so upset about everything. Yeah, we can see this guy who's coming to trade. Looks like he'll buy as much as this much if I'm selling any of it, and he will sell as much as this amount of these resources. He bought 5 polished stones for 15 coins, where he had, whoa, this is me selling, this is me buying. Okay, so he had the option to buy more, I guess, but maybe just didn't have the income, or is set to a specific like limit of how many he'll actually buy. Okay. So we've got more of a hustle and bustle back here than we used to, which is great. A decent amount of homes. Yeah, okay. Neat. Somebody just bought some of my fish. So we're not entirely poor, but I'm not doing great as far as income overall. I bought 25 clothing for 50 coins. Okay. We almost have enough to expand into iron territory, but I suppose we actually need to go with a mandate first, because you have to prospect it first. And that's the nearest one. The nearest one past that is over in this direction. And to get to that one, we would also need to expand what looks like probably 3 different territories. And we absolutely do not have the ability to get anywhere near that. So I think we'll have to do this one, but before we do, let's do the prospecting first, because I don't know if that changes anything. But we'll start with that. Spend 100 coins to do it and be very poor in the meantime. And after 20 turns, that prospecting will be done. And I guess we'll find out maybe what kind of resources are there, if any. Hopefully the iron that we're looking for. Okay. Great. All Alright, looks like we are hopefully catching back up on our planks. What do you mean it's no longer met? Why though? You've got them both. I guess maybe the patroller just hadn't come by or something. Okay. Maybe the patroller was on break or something and so it didn't count. I don't know. I'm just here. I think maybe we go with some more decorations to make some better housing, where this is just, well, I guess the issue that you run into there is, while they don't cost any other resources, they do cost money. Can we maybe expand? This over here? Or would it be better over in this area? Okay, these are houses that are still yet to be built. Well, some of them are. So we'll put a little sign right there. And as soon as I actually have enough money, because I think I just lost some to maybe some upkeep costs or things, I don't have the ability to build this. Well, yep, and now we've dipped into the red. Look at us. Alright, well, I'll come back and build that later, I guess. Wow. Alright, they're doing pretty well on coal. Do I have anything else that... I don't want to keep hoarding stone because I feel like my storage could use other spaces. But it's not like currently... I guess we'll put polished stone here. Because we've got the one for it here, but if we ever run out, we can keep cycling through our existing stone to get more polished by filling out this space of 100 and another 100 here. Okay, but where is it blocked? It would be nice for you to actually tell me where this guy's trying to get to, but can't make it. Okay, bought some fish. Good for him. See if I can find that sign again. I'm gonna build it. And then see if we can expand out with maybe a hedge to make these homes happier. Can we get a third house on that? Apparently not. That's fine. We'll go here. Oh boy, we got someone coming on a horse with a message. What do you got to say for yourself? That was an interesting way for you to ride through the building to show up on the other side, but good for you. Trade with Middle is booming. They plan on investing this wealth into restoring their old church, which would attract pilgrims. This could also benefit your village if you supply them with it. Sure. So that, I think, is one of these mandates. If I remember right. Yes, you could improve the trade routes with... Okay, I think that's where our polished stone might end up going. To improve the middle trade route. To do the Northbury one, we need 50 bread, which we're nowhere close to getting. And Trotbury, we're getting closer to do tools, because we need iron in order to make that happen. Is the prospecting done? I guess go back into mandates and see. No, we're still waiting a bit. Because the bailiff's out there inspecting. Okay, is there any way for us to look at... Where are you at? Okay, so you are out here prospecting. Good on you. Hopefully you figured that out. Okay, we got butchers going here. Looks like we're hopefully back on the upswing for meat as our not processed, but higher quality food that people are wanting. Not just rustic, but refined is the word I'm looking for. Now, as far as what to spend my money on, I think we will buy this land out here the moment the prospecting is done, because then I can get a bunch of workers working on tools, which will then just help me to have that resource for future buildings. Now, as far as hunting goes, I think... Oh, interesting. Even though there's a house right here, there's still boars nearby, so you can have an overlap between residential and hunting. And that is good to know. But I think maybe where we don't have any sort of... I guess there's a little bit of boar possibility over here. I won't worry about... That should be fine. Let's do wood cutting. And let's expand it out here. Because I don't see necessarily there being a reason to keep a bunch of trees there. Especially where most of it isn't even hunting space. Okay, what's your deal? What does that even mean? Okay. I think just a minute until the watchman was able to get back in it. Alright, how are we doing on that prospecting? It lasted a total of 20 in-game days, I think. And we're past the halfway point, so we're getting there. Alright. The elders are looking to increase a nearby settlement's clothing stockpile. One of their merchants has seen my flock of sheep and wants to make an offer. If I get 100 sheep within 100 wool within 15 days, I can give that to them and get 150 coins and some trade, some labor influence. I could try to haggle. I think I'm going to try, because 80% in order to get a better deal seems like a good option for me. Incredible. So instead of 150, it's 300. Okay, yeah. All right, I'll take it. I guess I can see the worth of the gamble to hopefully get a better deal. So, we've already got 92 in storage. Well, 98, according to this. Well, I guess that's... Maybe there's only 92 in storage, but 98 total. Yeah, okay, that's what that tells me. So yeah, let's go ahead and take that deal. And then hopefully within 15 in-game days, we'll be able to put 8 more wool in storage. And there's 30 at the Weaver Hut by itself, so I think we will end up with enough excess to make that happen. So I think the wool is over here. Yeah, okay, we're already at 98. So shortly we'll get 300 coins, and that will be a nice change. So I think preemptively, just to make sure that I don't end up exceeding my treasury limit, I'm going to spend 100 on this territory and sure hope that it is going to pan out for the resources that I want to get from it. Then I'll go ahead and confirm and gain my 300 coins and sell the 100 wool I had in storage. And they're going to put in a good word with their leader for it. I also gained 5 labor influence for doing so. All right. And now I can just straight up pay off my debts here and get 5 more labor influence. Let's do that while we've got it. Man, it was really nice to have 400 of 500 coins in my treasury, but I'm sure we'll do it again. Okay. So bread, nowhere near. What would it take to get a tavern right now? Tavern here. So only 5 trade labor. And that will allow me to build a tavern. Let's do it. All right. Now it's just a question of the resources to build the tavern, but we now have the option for it. It would be nice to have it central, but now that we've kind of expanded housing and everything out here too, I think maybe people are just going to have to walk up that bridge to come to the tavern. So we'll have a public lounge where people can just walk in, but then they also need a service counter and a brewery. So we'll start with our public lounge. We'll go with the thatched hall. Fit 10 people in it. Why not? Let's go ahead and put that there. And if we make it any taller, does that expand the amount of capacity? Sure does. Okay. Well, I don't want to do it too high because that's way too expensive, I feel like. And it also doesn't look very good. But let's just hit the 15 mark, maybe. Okay. And then gonna throw on an entrance because that's what's required for this. A canopy entrance, that's kind of fun. Let's do it off to the side so it's easily accessible from the road. Okay. And then we'll add another sub-building. I guess visitor location is right there. And then we will add a sub-building. Let's go ahead and throw on a service counter so that people can enjoy their meals, I guess. Ooh, our bailiff did find an iron deposit. Great. Let's go with taverner capacity. Interesting. Let's go with, I mean, another thatched hall, probably not. Unless I just want to have a addition over here. Maybe I do. With the amount of people I have in town, maybe that's worth doing. Okay, and it's connected to the building, so I don't need to add another door if I don't want. Okay. Then I could do a brewery where I could start sending my berries over here. Can I add like some other element? Could just have a thatched cabin that is nearby but not a part of it, or just kind of expand it outward this way. Sure, we'll just kind of make a little Frankenstein building here. And then we'll put a back door here because we're not a monster. Good enough for me. And let's go ahead and build all. Now it's going to be quite a bit as far as resources go, because 39 planks, another 25, another 22. The one thing that I think we're going to run into the issue is tools, but we'll figure it out as we go along. We'll build all. What do you mean? Oh, you need a chimney here. Okay, I should have looked at that in the first place. That's fine. Let's add just a little short chimney for our little brewery over here. Yeah, done. Okay, now you're not going to get mad. At least until we run out of tools, but that's fine. Okay, so now that we've got this land, we have iron. Let's go ahead and start going with an iron mining camp. Now, is it just specifically on that one side of it? It looks like it. So, let's just keep you close to it. Why not? I don't see that being a problem. And can we actually prioritize this construction? Because that will help us get tools in the long run to use towards other things. Oh, interesting. Okay. What do you mean? Okay, iron deposit here, but not here. That's unfortunate. Can I edit this one? Oh no. Oh no, friends. I beefed it. I think we have to destroy this one. Yes. And we're going to have to build a new one. I assumed it would be part of this, but I guess not. Hey, good job coming over here and trying to fill that space, but I think I'm going to have to move it where there's actually iron. I can't be bothered. Okay, iron mining. Still weird that they came and prospected here, but then it turns out that the iron's here. Oh well. Can't complain. Too much anyway. Okay, I don't have housing here, so this is what we're going to do. And then we're going to prioritize this one. We're going to check residential area and make sure that it is not overlapped with what that is going to be with undesirable neighborhood. I guess we won't know until that's built, but like here. Okay, so I think maybe we... Oops. Of course we have a house right there. Yeah. Don't want to destroy the house. Just want to make sure we don't make them angry with the amount of undesirable space there. Okay. And they're already going at it. Yep, I'm aware that those are not yet built, so we can't consider it a berry brewery until all three of those conditions are met. But that's okay. We'll get there. Yeah, they'll walk that bridge when they come to it. Or we will. We'll figure it out. Hold on here. Hold on just a moment. All right. Sorry, had to check something real quick. Okay. It says you did. Okay. Ooh, more iron over there too. Cool. Well, I don't know that I have access to that, do I? One's here that I can't do. And one is maybe just inside? Yeah, okay. So I could also mine there. Once that's done, we need an iron smelter and then a blacksmith. So let's go ahead and get a smelter started building. And again, trying to deal with housing being a concern. I think we got to keep you kind of over in this direction. Yeah, okay. That's good for me. Build that. With this one still being prioritized. And will be done shortly. Let's go, Markoof. Alright, so we've got 2 miners going who will mine this iron here. And it looks like they should just automatically do iron that's near them as soon as they show up, because they're on their way over from wherever they were beforehand. And then next, I suppose we prioritize the iron smelter, although we're out of tools regardless. But let's go ahead and prioritize that. So when we do get tools, because currently I'm just trading for them each month with people who come monthly from neighboring towns and lands. And I guess now I'm dealing with enough money based on my recent income that I can afford to buy up to 15 rather than just the 10. And hopefully that will last us a little longer until we can make our own. But that happens, I think, at the end of the month. And we're currently, I guess, maybe just the end of the week we'll get some traders coming. I'm not actually sure what when they normally come through. We'll find out. Okay. Now, as far as these, yep, still waiting on bread. We need that tavern to be done, where we can keep travelers kind of staying there as they come through. And then we need more commoners. Now I think we could probably get some more commoners immediately, because it just costs money and then they need to have their needs met. But we have, I think, enough medium quality housing now. Well, I say that as I can only find the 2 buildings that we have that meet that. I guess we got at least 2 or 3 that meet medium quality. I think then we go ahead and do some promotions. Let's go ahead and promote people whose jobs would be better optimized with better jobs. So the brewer, the butchers, oh boy, we got lots of jobs that would be optimized. Okay, I do need to keep in mind how much money I actually have, because I think if I were to promote everybody who wants it, it wouldn't actually be helpful. Let's go with the priests. Let's go with a stonemason, because maybe that means they'll work faster. And then maybe just a single watchman for now. And a single patroller. And we'll stick with that for now. Okay. Where's your destination you can't reach? It would be nice if it would tell me that. My guess is he's trying to build. Okay, cool. We got mining going. Incredible. And we're still waiting on the tools to be able to make the iron smelter, but that's the last thing that we're missing, and then building can commence there. Once that's done, we can then build a blacksmith to turn those iron ingots that are smelted into tools. Neat. Okay, as far as coal, we've still only got 150 in total, and they're not going to make any more unless we make more room for storage. So let's go ahead and throw another coal in here. Okay. The house is upgrading. Perfect. Good for them. Okay, trading going on. What are we gonna get? Gonna give us tools? Is that a thing? I sure hope so. Because, man, we're hurting for him. Perfect. Okay, so spent 90 coins on it to get 15 tools. And that's great. Immediately some are taken. I imagine for the prioritized build. Yes. Markuf is bringing 5 tools. And then how's the tavern looking? Neat. Okay, so our public lounge is open. Even though it's not fully completed, I guess it's completed enough. The service counter is not anywhere even partially built yet. But we do have a taverner who's going to be working there. And we got a brewer going on the brewery. But I don't think either of those buildings is necessarily functional yet. I guess maybe this could be. Oh, interesting. If it's a job that's suited to citizen, if they're anything else, then they lose 50% productivity. I didn't realize it was such a steep skill cost. That's fine. We'll make it work. Hey, we got 93 people. Look at us go. Okay. Well, I guess we need to promote Bertuccia as our brewer. And maybe that Elmirja too, but I think we'll start with Bertuccia. Oh, but it costs you are a commoner. Oh, citizen. I see. What is it? Okay. Okay, so you can't even pay to upgrade them until all of their needs are fully met. You don't get your entertainment met until you have wine, beer, or berry brew. And we don't get berry brew until your building is fully functional. That's fine. We'll make it work. Alright, we're so close. Builder brought some stuff, built a little bit, and then decided to take a break, which is fine. Good on him. And then we'll have that going. Now, as far as iron ore, I've already got 14. Oh, to make 1 iron ingot, it takes 4 iron ore, 2 coal. And then I think the blacksmith also requires coal, so we need to make sure that we've always got a ton of both iron and coal, preferably. Because, yeah, tools. For 1 set of tools, you need 3 coal and an iron ingot. Let's go ahead and get that one going. Now, this one does not have any sort of undesirable housing space around it, so I think if we can find a central place to bring the iron and the coal that's way over here, or in storage over here, that is the preferred option. So let's go ahead and put it right here. Now, from the road, just because we like to look at aesthetics somewhat, we've got, oh boy. I sure wish there was a filter to see through the trees, but I haven't been able to find one yet. Yeah, let's do it right like that. Perfect. Done. Although, I guess I won't stress about prioritizing that one necessarily. While that would be nice, we also want to start meeting people's needs so we can promote them to citizen if necessary. Oh hey, building is done. 2 iron smelters, please. Alright, we got 7 people unemployed, but that's alright. We got 9 people unemployed. We just need more buildings for people to work in. But we don't got them. Because we need tools. It's okay. That's our current bottleneck. We should be able to resolve it relatively soon. I think within the next in-game month, and we'll be there. Are people just upset because patrol coverage lapsed for a second? I don't know. But they'll be fine. You can't slaughter anymore because your space is full. Well, good for you, because that's, I think, important for us to make sure that people's needs are met. I would consider maybe expanding my food storage to make room for that more meat now that I'm hunting in 2 places. But let's see what that costs. Granary. Okay, no tools. That is doable. I think we're going to put one over here for the excess meat here. Where that's the butcher's there, I think I'll just go ahead and put a granary here. And then once it's done, I will leave space for some meat because we're doing real good with it. Lounge is still fully done. Still waiting on tools for the brewery and tools for the service counter. And then tools for our blacksmith over here as well. If I can remember where I put it. Nope. No, that's our church. I think it was further up this path, maybe. There it is. Yep, just tools for those. And then we will be able to make our own tools. Speed up time just a little bit so that we can get the granary done and hopefully get our tools bought so that we can get some of these projects done. Welcome to town, friends. Okay, cool. We got our tools in. Gonna slow us down so that I don't miss anything terribly. And then I guess I didn't consider for these houses that are building upgrades, they also require tools. So hopefully we get enough tools to upgrade or to finish building something that needs it. I think we're going to go ahead and prioritize. Oh, cool. They're already coming. Well, 5 of 6 apparently. We're going to prioritize the blacksmith. Because that's our biggest bottleneck right now is tools. Okay, now I think we did create a storage facility over in this area. There's the granary, but I thought we also maybe did one for coal. Am I crazy? Did I already forget if I even did that or not? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just was looking to add on space on one of these, maybe? No. Got 2 warehouses, but I thought I had another. This one. Oh, yeah, okay. I've got 2 things of coal. Great. I didn't build an entire new warehouse because I figured that would be enough. And I imagine it probably will be the moment that we get our coal actually working on stuff. Like smelting. They're just waiting on iron. Iron is slow. So maybe we gotta build another iron mining over in this area. Yeah, that should be good. Go right there. Costs 4 tools, which we don't currently have. But did we get everything we need for the blacksmith? We did not. We're still missing 1. Of course we are. It's okay, that's the prioritized one, so next time we get a shipment of tools, that should be the first one to get it. There we go. Okay. Is there any way to increase my productivity on this? No. Are there any upgrades I can do? Not mandates, progression, I mean. There's storage improvement, which allows for additional storage space in your warehouse resources and granary resources. We could do farming. Stonemason hut improvement. Have more workers working there to get the stones polished. As far as iron working, it does not look like there's even an option to increase productivity for iron. Estate privilege. I'll pay 5 to unlock whatever that is. Estate privilege slot. Well, let's go to this and find out what that means. It sounded good. Edict and privileges. Privileges you can unlock through the estate paths. Yeah, I've got the slot. Once it's unlocked, you can select one from the edicts and privileges page. Okay, royal book. Edicts and privileges. We have a slot now. Enable a privilege by assigning them. Oh, sweet. Trade price bonus. Every time you trade with a village, you gain influence with its estate. Labor buildings upkeep reduced by 25%. Newcomers ignore happiness immigration factor. You can have 1 more concurring tax without penalty. And taxation happiness is decreased by 25%. Happiness effect. So, I don't think that that's necessarily my concern at the moment. I think maybe something to do with income will be nice. Reducing building upkeep might be good. Let's actually take a look at last month. Upkeep costs for resource production, I think is what that specifically was saying. 27 for the month, I don't think is necessarily worth that. No, absolutely not. Get 10% more of a trade price bonus or get more influence. I think let's go with a 10% increase on trade. And yeah, okay. Tavern is established. Revelers are rejoicing over my village's very first tavern. Fine drinks and warm meals are expected along with plenty of celebrations. There will be good times ahead. Okay, service counter's done. Brewery's done. Oh, no, not quite. Looks like we've got 4 of 7 tools in there. That's fine. We at least have the tavern completed so people might come visit and stay there. And then we just need commoners to complete that particular tutorial. Hey, we hit 100 villagers. Look at us go. Population hits 100. While still small, the spirit of cooperation shines through. It is a hopeful beginning as you lay the foundation. That's the name of the game. For future dreams. Very well. We get a happiness bonus of 10% for each villager, monastic, and combatant profile. Okay, more stuff going on. Our standing in the estates of the realm has allowed us to enact our first privilege. I think I already did that. Let's claim one. Oh. It specifically wants me to do dutiful payers. I will do that on my own, thanks. King is planning new outposts around the borders. One of his merchants has noticed my woodcutter camps and wants to make me an offer. Accumulate 100 in storage, which I already have, and I'll get kingdom influence and money. I could lose out on the kingdom influence and very unlikely get a better deal. The issue is, the reason why I'm not going to get a better deal generally is because I don't have any kingdom influence to begin with, so I think I need to gain it first. We're going to go ahead and take the deal. And I've got it already, so we're just going to go ahead and sell it. Immediately gain our rewards. Okay. Anything else outstanding as far as little notifications? I don't think so. These notifications are just saying that it's full. They can't continue working until some of that stuff is taken away for other projects. Okay, we've got somebody coming for trade. I don't remember if this is the guy that sells us tools, but they all come roughly within the same time as each other, so we'll get tools soon. And then we'll have our blacksmith done. I need to start spending money because I'm going to hit my limit here soon. Is there a way to... I feel like I saw somewhere that I could increase the size of my treasury. Right there. Unlock the treasury for my manor house, which would expand the capacity. Cool. We'll go ahead and spend 5 of my labor influence to be able to buy it. And then I think we'll spend some money for an extended village edict. And we'll do a second one as well. Because we're about to get, I think, a decent amount of income now that we've got our engine kind of really going. So, first of all, let's go to, nope, not mandates. Edicts. Total cost of every mandate decreases, and the time decreases. That might be really useful. We could increase the yields of stone and iron ore right now, which would not be a bad choice. Upkeep of production building parts are decreased by 50%. Production buildings. Okay. Refund 50% of the tools after constructing a building part. Oh, man. Yeah, I think that's a good choice for us. Bulk trade. Trade quantity bonus of 80% from village with clergy, kingdom, and labor allegiance. But trade price goes down. Trade price bonus of negative 20% from a village with... Okay, so price goes down, quantity goes up. For when I buy stuff from people. That sounds like a decent choice. But yeah, let's stick with that for now. I think we can repeal it later if we want to. That's what I read somewhere. Okay, now from here, we've got our iron going. We just bought our tools, which hopefully means that the blacksmith that I have hidden somewhere here in the trees. There we are. Perfect. We have one tool coming. That will be done, and then we can finally start making our own tools, and we won't have to deal with that particular bottleneck. Hello, welcome to town. Okay. Wow, happiness is pretty good. I guess people are just really happy about our recent increase in population. But we still have a refined food shortage? How? Is the meat just not making it here fast enough, or are people just not able to buy it? Do I need to make another marketplace somewhere else to distribute it evenly? That might be the play. Yeah, I think, oh yeah, with the edicts or things that I just put out, I think you might be right. Okay, well, let's go ahead and make a marketplace over here. We're gonna go with a food stall. And since people are already coming here for the tavern, let's say that the food stall is somewhere nearby. But not in the way of people's houses, I guess. Sorry, I'm not trying to get up in your personal space, you guys. It's just hard to really tell. Let's just have it across the bridge. No. I think I want it more near these houses because they have to walk further to the center of town to get to it. So I think we're going to go right here. Accessible from this roadside. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and put a little green tent over the top of it. And then just to add a little bit more labor splendor, let's give us a little simple bench nearby. Although it's kind of upset, I don't necessarily know what the red arrow... Can people not get to it? Is that what it's telling me? I don't know. I guess technically that's not as important. It's just having it at all gives us labor splendor. Then as soon as that is done, cost 5 cloth and 20 wood. We'll be able to assign some meat to that, which hopefully means that more of our villagers will be able to access food in a timely fashion, instead of having to book it all the way across the river. Alright, blacksmith is here. Let's have 2 of them. Creating tools. Now, how is it that I get people to stay at my tavern? Why would I want to edit? Oh, I could add some decorations. Give them a barrel sign. That's kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. But I can't see it. I don't... I don't know. I guess I don't need it. It was just an option of something. Okay, now what's your deal? Did the bailiff leave? Apparently. Why though? I must have missed that. Alright, trade bonus, job learning speed. Let's go with Herod. Now you are a serf. You would be better as a commoner. I think we can afford that, so welcome to your promotion. Okay. Trying to find that one person who used to be the bailiff. I don't know that I remember what her name was, but I don't see any that remind me of what her name was, so I assume that she left. Okay. Housing here. They're upset because they want a commoner resident, but this person is not a commoner, they're a serf. And if they don't have any commoners, then I think they downgrade the house. So maybe we do a little upgrade to you so that that house stays as is, hopefully. Okay. And we're working on providing entertainment with the tavern. Throw another taverner on there. They are currently at 50% productivity because they are better as commoners. I think we can afford to upgrade both of them. So we've got 100% productivity on our taverning. Give them berry brew, which should come from here. Yep, just working on it. And she is a commoner, so she's able to do that at 100% productivity. Oh no, I lied. This job is better for citizens, so she's only working at 50%. Okay, celebrating the laborers. The elders would like you to host a regional fair. Okay, I did this before. It worked out. I got a pretty decent, bump in happiness because of it. I just need to make sure that happiness stays at 75% or higher. I will continue to get trade bonuses and happiness bonuses. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, did you hear my dog barking? Yeah. He's goofy. When he goes outside, sometimes, he'll bark immediately at nothing because he just assumes there's going to be something out there that's terrible. He's a goofy dog. Okay. That's done, so now they're going to start mining. And I think we're finally where we wish we could have been 2 hours ago as far as tool production and being self-sufficient in that way. Oh, hi, Goose. How you doing? Come here. Do you want to show our friends who you are? This is Goose. He says hi. I guess you don't. You don't really care. And that's alright. Alright, say bye, Goose. Bye. Alright. So, yeah, he's very cute. He's some kind of mix of Chihuahua and something else. We got him from the pound, and we aren't really that stressed about finding out what he's mixed with. But, yeah, he seems mostly well behaved for a Chihuahua. Seems like a lot of them are particularly yippy and yappy, and for the most part, he is pretty good about not being that way. Although we're kind of working on a balance because he's not particularly vocal in telling us when he needs something. He'll just kind of lick until you, he'll lick you until you can guess what it is, what he wants. So, we're trying to figure it out. And then when we teach him, no, you can, speak, you can bark to let us know if you need to go outside or something, especially at night. And then he'll decide, oh, I can bark, and kind of take it maybe too far in the other direction. But we're figuring out a balance. He's figuring it out. Okay. Storage is full here, and they don't have the iron that they need. These are the boars. They're not being butchered fast enough. It's just the patrol maybe not being as fast as it could be to make this requirement work out without an occasional notification. It still works just fine, but slightly annoying for me. Wow, great job buying a single polished stone for 3 coins. What would I do without you? Oh, and a single clothing and another single polished polished stone. Wow. Thank you, Trotbury. Incredibly generous. All right. So, oh sweet, we got people attending, which will have us, I think, complete this particular goal. Let's go ahead and speed up just a little bit. Okay, we got 3 people in attendance. 2 now. I don't know if these are even visitors. These just might be my townsfolk coming to the tavern. So maybe that's why this hasn't yet counted. Brewery's happening, and we're getting brew that's being consumed. Yeah, okay. Nice. Okay, you just need more refined food, and then we can upgrade you to a citizen, which makes your brewing better. But still have to wait for that. Oh, I need to add on my tavern, or not my tavern, my treasury. I forgot. Let's put it on this main building, so I don't need to do that. I just need to edit this one. Oh, and then was there any mandates? And just welcome some commoners in. That actually seems like a solid choice. Although, I don't know if people are upset about housing. Let's go with that. It'll be fine. In 7 days, we'll have 5 of them. Okay. Edit this building. Throw on a sub-building that is the treasury. And you need something that is considered within a light fortification area and has a room and a door. Well, that's a room. Not a particularly nice-looking treasury room, but, you know, I suppose it would get the job done. Yeah, let's hook it on there. And it is within a light fortification area already, and it has a door that, like, somewhere in this building that it's connected to, it has doors. So I'm just going to go ahead and build a treasury. And that should, once it's done... Wait, is that not being built? Oh, right there. Okay. It will... Oh. Oh. I don't know if I want that. Hold on. I should have actually looked at what that would do as far as... Oh, once it's done, it will add 90. Okay, can I throw like a little something on top or right next to it to expand even further? Or can I make it taller? Okay. Like a little silo for my treasury. You know what? I like that. That's kind of quirky. Because we are already at my limit of money. Oh, hello! Welcome in, Essie Tessie. Nice to see you. We're just playing a fun little game of managing resources, villages, workers in medieval times. just recently adding on to my Great Hall Manor House here with some treasury so that I can have a little bit more max income because I'm hitting my limit. For the longest time I was struggling to have any money, and now it's all working out in such a great way that I need to start spending it. Let's see. Mandates to improve trade routes. Yeah. It would be nice to, at some point, have enough money to say that we did it. No way. Happiness was at 74% at the time instead of 75, so I did not gain that bonus. In fact, I think because the fair was such a negative thing, yeah, we had a bleak fair, so a negative 25% on happiness. Negative 25. Yikes. Well, that's what happens when I'm trying to do too many things at once. That's all right. It's just a temporary setback. Well, we could expand our lands a little bit. I think maybe we expand over here. And then we build another bridge just so we have multiple points of access, points of access across the river there. Now, the bridge last time didn't look particularly pretty when it was angled like that, when I tried to put like a truss over the top of it. So we'll see how I feel about it this time around. But if we go here, it doesn't like that angle, but is happy with that one. So I think we're going to go here. It's going to cost 55 planks, which I've got plenty. That should work out just great. Alright, and Hewitt's bringing us 55 planks. Huh, unfair. Very good. Yeah. It's just wild that that's such a negative thing that lasts for as long as it's going to. Why do we have a refined food shortage? Maybe that's just a leftover and it looks like it's just the 1% now, where normally I think when it first shows up it's 10 or 20. And the housing shortage I think is similarly like resolved. But the bleak fare of 25% is still there, and that sucks. Alright. Bridge is being built, so we're going to have that available. We're doing fine on wood. I think our... Oh boy, we got some immigration going on. Okay. Back to stonecutter, I think, specifically. Okay, you're working at productivity because we just recently made you a commoner rather than a serf. So you're working faster than you were before. We might need another one to kind of keep that going. Let's go ahead and do that while I'm thinking about it. Stonemason hut. I suppose this will be a good place. The stone will just be brought over to it. And it's just interesting that there's not really a way to increase the amount of people working there, at least currently, where you can do that with some types of buildings. Sad fare of 25. Well, it's down to 24 now. Okay. As commoners, you can't find the upgraded housing that we already had. I guess maybe we need to work on upgrading some more. Alright, let's get some decorations going. We got the money for it. I think let's go with a fun little backrest bench to expand over here, our kind of desirability range. Yeah. Okay. Let's go specifically to decorations. Get a fun little rose pergola. That's kind of fun. Let's expand to these 2 houses, though. 3 houses? Yeah, okay. And we'll put it right over the pathway here. Done. And hopefully that is enough to give commoners the housing that they want as it gets upgraded to medium quality. Because we got both of these things met. It's just the commoner residents who say that they don't have houses that they like. You don't have a job woodcutting? I guess we could... must have been one of those weird things where it got assigned even though there was not space for it. Alright. Well... Okay, you're already a commoner. Good. No access to entertainment. What do you mean? Does this not count as entertainment? Do I need to edit this and make it better? Don't know what raw materials you're missing. Oh, you're out of berry brew, so people won't show up and attend. Because the berry brew is made by this person, who makes it slow, because that is a job better fit for a citizen. But she can't become a citizen until she has one different refined food. So we need to either make bread or cheese. So we're going to go into our progression. And we're going to work on farming next. Because that's how we're going to get bread. So we got to do wheat, a windmill, and a bakery. Okay. While I'm thinking about it, because the bakery's going to require water, and so does this berry brew, rather than make them walk all the way back to the town center for water, let's just make another well out in this area. Right there. Okay. And then next we will work on a wheat farm. Might as well give you some of this open space for it, I suppose. But we'll flip your door around to be more towards the center of town. Okay, now from here, throw on 3 farmers there. Still need to wait for it to be built, but we've got some of my unemployed people now with a job that they will have. After a wheat farm, we want a windmill. Might as well keep it right nearby it. Maybe spin it around again towards the center of town to just look nice as you're walking the path to it. And then that one won't let me assign workers until it's done. Then we'll go with a bakery. This one also does not create any sort of mess or undesirable living space. So we could put the bread maybe slightly closer to civilization so that it can then be stocked in other places. So, slightly closer meaning something like that. And then see through the trees somehow. Alright, we got a door there. That's great. Build that right now. Boy. Okay. You're right there. as far as priority, we're going to go with the grain farm first, or the wheat farm first, because none of the other 2 buildings can be done until that is. But it looks like people are complaining about various things. It's hard when it says that you couldn't reach your destination. Okay, Treadbert, you're here. You were trying to go there. Why was that an impossibility for you? Because it seems like you got what you were looking for. Okay. A lot of people whining about stuff that they eventually figure out. Let's see. How do you lodge travelers at your tavern? Is this something that I'm missing? Or is that something that you have to add on for people to want to stay? Yeah, because we got decorations, interactive location. No. Did I never set a visitor? No, I did. Right there. Okay. Public lounge capacity. What about visitors, though? Is that a different travelers? Let's see. Hosting guests. To start receiving them, welcome wandering monks at your hospitium. Let travelers spread the word of your inn lodge. Okay. So to start receiving guests, I need people to come to my inn lodge. That's not what this is. Lodge travelers at your tavern. Is that a different sub-building that I can make? Great Hall, public lounge. It's not one that I currently have. But it's interesting that this is not like other ones that have walked me through every step to get to the next step. So let's see. Manor house architecture. No, that's not it either. Sure, we'll allow the ability to make fences so that we can just say that we're done with that one. The reason I'm not really looking at any of these at the moment is because for this particular scenario, it said that I don't need to worry about building a monastery or a castle. Specifically this like tutorial and the scenario and the difficulty level, I guess, that I'm doing just has to do with this labor tree more than anything. Tavern Splendor package. No, that looks to be just decorations. I don't think that it really has any... Well, Refined Nook gives you house functions for your monument. That's a good question. Yeah, stonemasons are great, but I want bread. Well, as far as settings? No, where was it? I think it might have just been Royal Book, Village Overview. Yeah, okay. Restrictions to never build a monastery and never build a castle. Which I think shouldn't. Maybe can't. I might be able to do the research in that area, but then not build the buildings. But I also don't know if that then is even worth doing. Because if I build a castle, that's when I can start, I think, well... I think all of these are like sub-buildings and sub-functions of a castle that I'm not allowed to build, so I don't see a point in researching it. Yeah. I could start making beer too. I think maybe we go with storage improvements. Because my storage is definitely an area that I could improve. But I'd have to edit the existing ones, which I don't know that I have space for. Yeah, we've already got our berry mead going on. Our berry brew. So, we got a little bit of alcohol already, you know. I don't actually know historically which came first, because I feel like both have kind of been a staple in most societies since the existence of any society. Okay, so we could get additional storage space. But I don't want to necessarily be in the way. I guess it doesn't need to connect. Ooh, that's fun. I like your little octopus guy. Okay, so if we build this additional thing, I assume that that means that we have twice as much storage, meaning that this one will have space for 4 more non-food items. Won't that be nice? Okay. How are things going with our farm over here? No crop field. Well, you could have told me that I had to paint it. I figured that that would be the case, but it didn't give me the option to until the building was done, so. Good thing that I gave it kind of an open area here. Okay, it's currently growing. And then this one is going to be done first, which is good. And then we'll have our bakery done after that. Okay, I think in about 5 minutes we're going to end the stream. That'll kind of be the end of it for the evening. So feel free to stick around. But just so you're aware, we're winding down, and then you can either keep watching someone else, or you can call it for the night as well. It's up to you. But just so it's not a surprise when I suddenly go, all right, time to be done. Yeah, I know, housing's insufficient. How can we make this high density? We need patrol coverage and light fortification. So let's get us a little watchtower. Okay. Yeah. Build that there. Go with another watchtower here. Next, I will be streaming this Thursday. I'm actually going to be playing Peak with at least a friend, maybe 2. I guess we'll see how things go as we get closer. But yeah, this is going to be my first time playing Peak, so I will be new to all of its wiles and excitement, and I imagine quite a bit of frustration, but it should be fun. I'm excited. Oh boy, we got all sorts of jobs for millers. That's incredible. And then bakers. I imagine there's going to be at least room for 2 of them. And then I think also as part of not just having the watchtowers, but they also need people to patrol. So I need to create another manor house, but specifically just a watch post. And give us a plain old boudoir, maybe. Just a small little thing to keep these homes patrolled here so that they feel safe enough to be higher density housing. And then throw a little entrance on it here. And build that. Have a patroller and a watchman. Just kidding, we don't have enough people, I think, to work as watchmen. Interesting. That's fine. Okay, well, I think we do need to expand out our patrolling area because we got more houses now. But now that we'll have a patroller in the neighborhood, I think that should be much more easily completed. Did our tax collector leave? Did he die? Is that a thing? I don't know. And, oh, as a tax collector, you'd be best as a citizen. But as a commoner, you only do 25% productivity. We'll upgrade you. Well, as a serf, it was 25. So as a commoner, we'll upgrade you to 50%. And that's going to be what it's going to be. Yeah. Does sound peak, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm not going to put a cover on that because it looked so terrible because it seems like you can't do it on slopes. And I don't really like that. Alright, we got 4 bakers here that I don't have people. We finally hit the point that I've run out of workers. Luckily, we have supposedly incoming immigration in the next week, or in the next day. But we'll get there. But I need at least a baker, so I think I'm going to take away a miller and throw on a baker. Now the question is, the field is adequately sized. Oh, but the wheat's not done yet. That's fine. Alright, cool. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and call it here. Go save this game. Yeah, okay. And then we're going to quit. Alright, well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been really good to spend time with all of you. And I hope to see you again soon. Again, I'll be back up on Thursday playing Peak. And then Saturday, I will just kind of have a rotating cycle of different games that I might just enjoy. And some might be ones I've played before. Some might be ones that I'm just fully introducing myself to that I haven't ever played. Some that I maybe haven't even heard of. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. Anyway, thank you again for being here with me. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you again soon. All right, bye.